One Anthropic employee asked an unreleased version of Claude to take a real stab at the Riemann hypothesis, one of mathematics' most famous unsolved problems. Then he mostly stepped away. A day and a half later, Claude had coordinated about 60 subagents, tried hundreds of ideas, read prior work, run numerical checks, written Python scripts, refereed its own arguments, and produced a result that human mathematicians considered meaningful. It did not solve the Riemann hypothesis. That sentence matters. What it did was raise a related lower bound from 41.6% to 67.2%, drawing on decades of human mathematics. For quiet people, the interesting story is not that expertise disappeared. It is that one person's curiosity could start an asynchronous research lab without first assembling a committee. But formal proof, expert review, huge compute, and accountable humans still separated an idea from trusted knowledge. Precision beats hype. This is a story of quiet exploration. The old version of difficult research is socially expensive before it becomes intellectually expensive. You need to know which expert to approach, explain why the question deserves attention, recruit collaborators, divide the search space, schedule check-ins, keep everyone aware of failed paths, and ask someone senior to inspect. Those steps are reasonable because hard problems punish overconfidence, but they also create a gate around curiosity. If you are outside the field, work alone, or simply hate asking a room to care, the idea may die in a notebook. AI changes the cost of the first serious pass. It can search broadly before you ask another person for time. It can preserve dead ends instead of making 10 people retell them. It can compare papers and write experiments. It keeps parallel attempts moving while the human holds the question. That does not democratize truth. Claude's first pass is useful precisely because it failed. The model generated and tested 650 ideas, and none worked. A normal chatbot interaction might have ended there with a polished apology. Instead, the employee prompted it to continue. On the second attempt, the system expanded the search. Roughly 60 subagents split into roles. 2 developed the key mathematical ideas. 13 contributed. 30 tried and failed to develop new ideas. 13 acted as validators. 2 helped draft the paper. This is not a story about 60 equally brilliant agents. Half the group failed. That is part of the design. A broad search is valuable when dead ends are cheap. The lesson is to separate exploration from persuasion. The second design choice was depth. Anthropic reports 31 million output tokens across the sessions. Subagents ran 2,400 shell commands and wrote hundreds of Python scripts. They performed thousands of numerical checks against known zeros of the zeta function. They downloaded 54 papers from archive to check whether the result had already been published. This was not one giant answer. It was a research operation. Search, compute, compare, document, repeat. The most useful workflow is rarely ask once and trust. It is build a loop where evidence changes the work. Then came the part that makes this more than a transcript. Claude asked subagents to independently reprove the finding. It recommended human validation. 2 mathematicians at Anthropic studied the work and its foundations. Outside experts examined the paper on short notice. Claude also worked to formalize the result in Lean. Numerical checks catch contradictions. Independent derivations reduce error. Formal proof checks logical steps. Human experts judge meaning and attribution. That friction matters. It's the difference between a guess and a proof. The result needs careful language. Mathematicians had proved at least 41.6% of zeros lie on the line. Claude raised that lower bound to 67.2%. It found a new way to connect decades of human results. The correct verdict is not, AI solved mathematics. Precision beats hype. This was a research model's first pass. Here's the quiet workflow I would borrow. Start with one unreasonable but testable question and a source library. Separate work into roles: explorers, critics, and replicators. Keep a searchable graveyard of failed attempts. Build executable checks for code, finance, or research. Search explicitly for prior art before claiming novelty. Produce a compact evidence packet for a qualified human. The goal is to make human attention count, not replace it. 60 agents can create consensus while sharing a blind spot. Formal verification only proves encoded assumptions. Human validation is where significance returns. Let machines multiply attempts. Let humans own what survives.